What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. It's been a little while.
It's been a minute.
Of the Glory Boys podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Austin.
It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. I'm Darren.
And this is the Glory Boys podcast. Let's hit the intro.
Let's go. Oh, snacks.
Love snacks.
Asian snacks.
Where do we get those?
We got these from our pastors.
Shout out pastors Eli and Kelly.
Eli and Kelly.
They got us a gift basket for our new space.
Our new space?
That we're going to talk about today.
What are you talking about?
We are in a new location that we're filming this in right now. This is our first Glory Boys podcast that we filmed here.
Yeah.
We were guests on the Grow Your Video Business podcast that we filmed last week.
Yep.
Make sure that you check that out when you have a minute.
Yeah, so like he said, we moved into a new space. We're super excited. We haven't posted a podcast in 3 weeks, so we super apologized. We're really, really sorry. We've just been moving stuff. All this gear has been in bins, and we've been cleaning out our new space and hanging TVs and putting together desks and all of the things that you have to do when you move into a new space. So we're really excited. It's a lot bigger, so there's a lot of things to do. And the building's a little bit older, so we are having to do minor repairs here and there. We had the walls painted. We cleaned the bathrooms. I mean, there's just a lot of room to cover. So we're super excited about it, but it has set us back in the podcast, which we're super excited to get back on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really big perk of this new space is having the space to be able to do this and be able to leave the podcast set up, be able to just walk into a room and shoot a podcast. As you know, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, that's been a goal of ours and it is coming true. So today we really just wanted to catch you guys up. It's been a while, like we mentioned, and like Darren saying to you in the intro, it's been a minute. It's been 3 weeks and we just wanted to catch you guys up to speed on what we've been doing. So starting with the candy. We have to try the candy.
Yeah, so this gift basket, like we said, it was from our pastors, our lead pastors from our church, My City Church. They stopped by and dropped us off. It was super sweet. Literally, because it's candy mostly. But the funny thing is we all really enjoy high chews. So she always gets Pastor Kelly always gives us the new flavors, and
there's just so many flavor options.
So delicious. But she did say we need to try this new candy. It's a creamy candy white rabbit. We've never had this. It's like pure dairy, so I'm only gonna have one of them to taste them. But
we have to try it. We have to try one.
Yeah, we have to try it. So
let's try one.
Let's rip it. All right, here's one for you.
Okay.
One for me.
She said they're very hard.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
She said that if it
fan of.
If it breaks her teeth, she will.
But she said this is her favorite candy, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's super hard. Oh, almost there.
You can crack it.
Okay. Soft. It's like a now and later. Like the consistency.
It tastes like a cow tail.
It does taste like a cow tail. It tastes like ice cream.
It's like just vanilla, cream. Very interesting. I definitely feel like my teeth are going to get sucked out by it. Like they're just going to get pulled from the socket. All right. Well, I can confidently say it's not my favorite candy, but it's pretty good. And I'll probably eventually eat them all.
It's vanilla.
Yeah.
And it's
like
good.
A vanilla Tootsie.
Yeah, kind of. Just harder to eat.
Way harder to eat. So if you like a challenge, try these.
Also, there's some roasted and seasoned, what's this called?
Seaweed snacks.
Oh, yeah. Seaweed snacks, which we all love. My wife and I like those. Austin and Callie like those.
Drinks.
Some weird, I don't even know what these are either. Just drinkable jelly.
Sounds like sugar.
So we're not going to eat all these because a podcast of us chewing and ASMR is not really our style. So we will do that another time.
Nice.
We'll put these away and get into the episode. So Austin, just what's been going on, man?
Dude, so much stuff.
Like what? Like
so
what?
We got a van, as you all know.
Yeah.
You were around for that, and we talked about that in our last episode of the podcast. We've been working on the van, installing new stereo, new speakers, new headlights, just random things that it either needed or we just wanted to upgrade.
Right.
It's at the mechanic right now, so we're getting it all tuned up and ready to go. All the fluids changed that probably haven't been changed in years, and getting it just to a well-maintained level where we can just continue to maintain it from here on out. And in the midst of that, we started the process of looking at this building and deciding, and we talked about that in our last podcast episode, of just the process of prayerfully considering the space and what it could bring and the pros and cons. And now we've moved in officially, and the last couple weeks have been mostly clearing out stuff.
So if you're new to the podcast, just to kind of catch you up, since really the conception of Glory Visuals, we have officed outside of our My City Church headquarters building, essentially. We first started off in our pastor's basement. Then the church plant ended up getting an office space. And then we acquired an office in that space. And it was really like a 14 by 14 room was where we officed out of. Me, you, and Bray, and all of our part-time people would come in this tiny little room with all of our desks, with all of our gear. And it just got to be super overwhelming because we were like, we had gear like falling on us when we're trying to edit videos. It felt really claustrophobic. And so obviously not an ideal, space, but it was such a blessing. We loved it. In that time, we grew a ton. In that time, we learned a lot. In that time, we really knew what we wanted for a space, had a lot of dreams and aspirations. But, for 3.5 full years, we operated in this really little, tight kind of space. And so, obviously, we really, really desired something bigger, something more functional, something where we can set up different settings like this, leave them for more than an hour, and not have to tear them down for a church event or something else that was going on that day. And so this has really been a dream coming true for the longest time.
Yeah. We've been talking about it for a long time, and it was the perfect space, perfect price, perfect for what we need right now. And for the next, really couple years at least. And so just a space that we can grow into. So just to kind of break down the layout of the space, we have 2 offices. That's really what we pay to rent, is the 2 offices, and they're each like 12 by 12. So not they're not massive, but the ability to store our gear in a different room enables us to just have the 3 desks and a TV and a futon or whatever, and it not feel overly crowded. But so the 2 offices, it also has a pretty good sized lobby area that we installed a TV in. We got a couch coming in later this week. Really our vision for that is just to be a space for people to hang out, a space that we can host people, a space where people can, if there's people that are on a shoot, people who have kids, they can keep their kids out there, put on something on the TV, have them watch it, and really just a separate space for people to just chill. We could eventually build it into even like a control room where you can see into what's going on in the studio for people that want to watch but not be in here making noise. And then there's the studio that we're standing in right now. Behind us is a pre-built cyclorama wall that's been here for decades, and that was really a huge selling point.
Totally.
The fact that it has a cyc wall already, that we didn't have to build one. They're very expensive and very difficult to build. So already has one. It just needs a touch up. We're going to repaint it, make it look nice, make it look new. And then behind the camera off to here, you can't see this if you're listening on podcast, but part of this shoot studio is just like a double wide garage bay where we are able to put our racks of equipment and really just separate all of the gear from the workspace, which has been really great so far. So that's pretty much it. 2 office spaces, the lobby and the shoot studio. And then we are going to actually there's a live room upstairs. So the upstairs is actually a fully functioning music recording studio. And the live room never gets used anymore. So we're going to actually eventually turn that into our podcast studio. That way we don't have to set it up here in the shoot studio.
So we're super excited about that. And although we are renting the space, the owner has we've shared our vision, our passion, kind of the things that Austin and I have been dreaming for this company for a long time, was creating spaces to then rent out to other creatives to make their work better. And so I feel like over the last 3 years, we've called a lot of places. We've rented different spaces. We've shot in different locations all over the city. And although some of them are great, we just wanted something better. And we have a lot of vision to make this space into what we think the city needs. Yeah. And some of the other videographers, filmmakers around the world, even around the city, and like photographers that are around that just want a good spot. This whole building and this space included is all heated and all climate controlled. So it's a very comfortable spot. And we have a really big passion of lighting this the way that we'd like, and really setting it up for success so that anybody that could rent it would have an awesome experience. And so with that, even though we're renting the building, we don't own it yet, or if we'd like to someday, we very much are investing our own finances and our own sweat equity into the space to make it become that space that's desirable to shoot at.
Yeah, and when we came in here, I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So the process that we've been going through the last couple of weeks is really clearing out, Darren talked about clearing out the space. That's because there was, over 3,000 pounds of just junk sitting around, old computers that had been left here for, 10 years, old racks of equipment that is outdated and no longer useful or repairable or sellable. All of that stuff got taken to the dump. And so we really have put a ton of work into it already, cleaning out stuff, reorganizing stuff. And we just saw the potential in it and knew that if we were able to, devote a week to cleaning it out, getting it ready, making it, giving it new life, that the payoff would be immeasurable in the future and in the long term. So there was kind of a short-term investment, but a long-term thought of we really want to build this studio out where it's fully ready, fully equipped. Somebody can bump in and do a shoot easily with a great experience.
Yep.
We're also going to turn one of the offices into just a general content studio. So you could do, you could do instrumental demos in there. You could do product reviews in there. You could do a course in there. You could, track music or do streaming, bunch of different options, just a really cool looking space that's set up where people can just walk in. They don't have to buy, the $10,000 worth of gear and lights and microphones and cameras that it takes to make it excellent and professional.
Yep.
And so we just want to give people access to that. And then thirdly would be the podcast studio. So when we set up our podcast studio, the end goal in mind is that it's a space that is modular to some degree, where someone else could come in and host their podcast in this space.
Yeah.
And it not feel necessarily just like the Glory Boys podcast, but it would have that level of excellence, that level of production.
Yeah.
And so really, through renting this building, it's going to provide 3 different spaces that we can rent. So film studio, podcast studio, and content studio. So stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram at Glory Visuals to stay tuned on all the updates as we get things ready. Once they are ready, obviously we'll list them on our website and start promoting them as rentable spaces. But for now, we're just grinding away. Getting the building livable was the first step. And I feel like we just got there really today. By cleaning out the lobby, getting that ready to go. The next step will be really equipping these shoot spaces. So I'm very excited to just look into new equipment and how to have lighting in the cyclorama wall that's computer controlled. There's a computer over here to my right that will have a console that you can control the lighting from. And so just providing something that is top notch and is the best really in the area.
Yep. Yeah. One of our biggest passions as a company is really to help all companies that do what we do just up the game in quality. And it's not like we're trying to be better than everyone and trying to keep the secrets to our to Glory Visuals, but we really want to equip other people that bump in here and teach them how to really light the shoot that they're trying to get. I just want people to come into this space and really just feel like they were taken care of, that they left with a really great quality product and they learned a little bit of something from us. But I guarantee we'll have all kinds of different types of people in here, super high-end professional production companies down to the single guy, the single camera, one dude just shooting a talking head video for one of his monthly retainer clients. And all of that work matters to us, and we want to provide a space for really every type of work that you guys are doing. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to us at hello@gloryvisuals.com and just say, hey, I heard it on the podcast, would love to, set up a shoot time. And we'd absolutely love to connect and start that kind of calendar and get that stuff rolling. We still have some work to do, but we are on our way to that.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's all we have for you. We just wanted to share a little bit about what's going on right now in the life of the Glory Boys and of Glory Visuals, and just really update you on why we haven't been putting out a podcast for the past few weeks. This step moving forward, this is really the first step in being able to more consistently give you guys content, because the cost of creating this content is less now that we have a space that we can leave set up, we can just walk into and start record. So be expecting a lot more content from us. And as always, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more content, you can hit the bell and be notified every time we drop a podcast on Wednesday or a piece of content on Friday. That could be a gear review or a random vlog or a van tour or a space tour coming soon. But make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, do us a huge favor and leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the content provided by this podcast. But until next time, I'm Austin.
And I'm Darren.
And this was the Glory Boys Podcast.
We love you guys.